Hello, my name is Patrick Spencer, and today I'll be doing a presentation of the CSR programme in Tesco. Tesco's early life started in 1919 when a Mr. Jack Cohen started selling surplus groceries on his market stall in the East End of London. It was until 1924 when the name Tesco actually emerged, after Mr. Jack Cohen bought a shipment of tea from Mr. T.E. Stockwell. The initials combined to form the name Tesco. Today, Tesco's flagship store is based in Burnt Oak, North London. Today, Tesco's head offices are based in Hertfordshire, England. They employ over 500,000 people and have 6,609 stores worldwide, and they operate in 13 countries. Tesco now offers a wide range of services and products including groceries, mobile network, services and clothes.
Tesco has been ranked the 9th best retail company in the world. In 2017 it saw pre-tax profits of
£562 million, as their competitors saw pre-tax profits of £657.2 million, which belongs to Asda, £270 million, which is Morrison's. Sainsbury's saw pre-tax profits of £251 million. Tesco's, Morrison's, Asda and Sainsbury's are classed as a Big Four supermarkets in relation to the supermarkets in the UK. However, in recent years the Big Four have faced competition from budget supermarkets such as Aldi and Lidl. In 2017, Tesco put forward a mission statement that declares, "Our business was built with a simple mission, to be the champion for customers, for them to enjoy a better quality of life and an easier way of living." This hasn't changed. Customers want great products at great value, they can buy easily, and it's our job to deliver this in the right way for them.
An analysis of the UK population shows that there are more retired people than children. The ageing population brings disadvantages to Tesco. As older people tend to eat less, they are less likely to travel to supermarkets to shop compared to younger generation. Although internet literacy levels drop over the age of 65 years within the population, it has nevertheless been predicted that the ageing population would find online shopping more convenient. However, small deliveries are considered to be ineffective and expensive. Tesco also faces economic uncertainty with the UK leaving the European Union in relation to the trade deals with suppliers. For example, Paul Polman, the CEO of Unilever, and the CEO of Tesco, David Lewis, have previously warned that the fall in the value of the pound since Brexit could see the price of some products rise. Government policies and legislation has always impacted Tesco's performance. For example, in 2004, the Food Retailing Commission suggested a code of practice which would ban practice including changing prices without notice, so Tesco offered its customers price reduction on the fuel they purchased in accordance with the amount spent on their grocery shop. From an environmental perspective, due to the increasing emphasis on global warming and pressure on companies to decrease their carbon footprint, Tesco said that emissions from stores and DCs make up over 85% of our direct carbon footprint. To meet our new targets, we commit to 100% renewable electricity by 2030. With the ever-advancing technological landscape, Tesco have had opportunities to invest in technology such as self-scanning checkout and loyalty schemes such as Clubcard. These technological advancements have cut labour costs and helped Tesco become what it is today and get an insight into its customers' shopping habits.
According to Crane and Matten, in the eyes of the law, corporations are artificial persons and therefore have rights and responsibilities and exist independently of shareholders. Executives of a corporation focus on responsibility and investment. Arguably, therefore, Tesco has a responsibility to protect the interests of society while protecting the investments made by Tesco. Such a strategy can be referred to as corporate social responsibility which can also be known as CSR. The International Organization for Standardization defines CSR as the responsibility of the organization for the impact of its decisions and activities on society and the environment through transparent and ethical behavior. Tesco defines CSR as being central to the way they run their business. Contrast with Starbucks' definition of CSR, which in 2004 was defined as a responsible company is one that listens to its stakeholders, responds with honesty to their concerns.
In 2016, Blowfield and Murray stated that EU corporate responsibility is voluntary. CSR is a concept where companies integrate social and environmental concerns in their business operations and interactions with their stakeholders on a voluntary basis. Tesco stakeholders consist of suppliers, customers, shareholders, staff and consumers. Tesco stakeholders can be divided into primary and secondary stakeholders. Tesco's primary shareholders consist of mainly shareholders. This is because if they believe the directors are running Tesco in a negative way, can vote them out. Secondary stakeholders of companies such as Tesco tend to be those that have an indirect interest. For instance, employees and investors who depend on a company's financial well-being are the primary stakeholders. There is a growing emphasis on companies to implement CSR strategies into their business and operations. For example, in 1960, Ian Davis, a managing director of McKinsey, stated that CSR is the iron law of responsibility that states social responsibility of business leaders needs to be commensurate with their social power. As Tesco is one of the UK's largest retailers, with £1 in every 7 now spent at Tesco, they have a great social influence. From looking at these definitions, it is clear that there is no one clear definition of CSR, with different definitions having different perspectives over what CSR is. In 2015, Tesco implemented a CSR programme to remove all sweets and chocolates from their checkouts. This was in response to research from Clubcard data revealing that families with young children have on average the least healthy shopping baskets. Research for Tesco found that 65% of shoppers wanted confectionery items removed from the checkouts to help them make healthier choices when shopping. Even more, 67% said it would help them choose healthier options for their children. In the short term, Tesco may have made this move to satisfy the needs and wants of its customers. When looking at the corporate social responsibility pyramid and applying it to Tesco, we can see that Tesco's economic responsibility is to produce food and drink for its customers at a profit. To fulfill their legal responsibility, they must abide by the laws and regulations, for example, producing and selling food while complying with food and hygiene standards. They also have ethical responsibilities in terms of moral guidelines outlined by society. For example, Tesco's No Sweets and Chocolates programme. Tesco also has philanthropic responsibility in the form of implementing CSR programs such as their Sweets and Chocolates programme. In this section I'll be drawing on different theories to consider how different perspectives may have influenced Tesco's change in strategy and what this might state about the evolution of CSR within Tesco as a whole. Drawing on Milton Friedman's socio-economic perspective, he might argue that this programme is worthwhile if it increases profits and shares, for example, the longevity and well-being of their customers. This puts forward the notion that CSR programmes are money motivated, while benefiting their customers. In addition, Tesco may have also done this to enhance their reputation as a caring supermarket to remain their competitive edge over other supermarkets. However, in the long term, he said this initiative for people to make healthy choices will contribute to reducing long-term cost to our nation, and ill health. Potentially this may be effective broader stakeholder approach, growing to nation for long-term, broader impact on the consumer. In 2004, Zadek published an article in Harvard Business Review, Organizational Pathways, Complex and Iterative. We need to understand the position of the company when they are conducting their CSR program. Companies such as Tesco typically go through 5 stages during the evolution of a CSR program. For example, at first, Tesco may have taken a defensive approach on this CSR program, as they can be seen to deny responsibility of not implementing a policy of having no sweets and chocolates at the checkout. At the same time, for implementing one from the larger stores in 1994. They may have taken this stance as they may have been aware of how profitable stationery goods are at checkouts. The second stage is compliance, where Tesco may have complied with the wishes of their customers. Tesco then assign managers into the third stage, realigning the CSR program, final stage of promoting it. This may have been a defensive CSR strategy, as it may show that Tesco is concerned for the well-being of its customers. However, it can also be seen to be offensive, as it may be implementing the CSR strategy as a means of putting its customers first. Clearly there is a financial investment here. Tesco may not be gaining any immediate cost benefit, but it is probable that the company anticipates in the long term it is likely to gain financial benefits from a loyal customer base and an increase in brand awareness associated with the perception of actively caring for its customers. Although Tesco may be implementing the CSR program in the interest of society, it does come with some risks. For example, 35% of customers in the research connected from the club card data did not want confectionery removed from counters, or did not mind. Those customers who did not want confectionery removed may start to shop at a supermarket that does provide confectionery goods at the checkout. As a result, Tesco may lose loyal customers, resulting in a possible decrease of their market share. Implementing the CSR program can come with external risks, as 35% of customers did not want or did not comment on the removal of sweets and chocolates from checkouts. They may therefore then go to other competitors who do have sweets and chocolates at their checkouts. Tesco may also face the risk of damaging relationships with suppliers, as they are not ordering the same quantities from them. However, Tesco may face risks from other competitors implementing similar CSR programs, and as a result it may not have as big of an impact as expected. Other supermarkets might do the same thing. Tesco may come under heavy criticism, as Tesco removed sweets and chocolates from their checkouts at larger stores in 1994. Some people may question why Tesco didn't introduce a no sweets and chocolates program at the smaller stores as well when it first appeared on our high streets. However, this is not a profit-motivated CSR program. Instead, it can be seen to be motivated by customer relations and a competitive edge. Tesco is also likely to see a positive effect on their relationship with most of their stakeholders by helping customers, which in turn may make them become more loyal to Tesco, which may encourage them to spend more in their stores, which will increase Tesco's profits, lead to higher dividends paid to their shareholders. Tesco first introduced a no sweets and chocolate program at their checkouts in larger stores in 1994, turning this to smaller stores in 2014. Lidl implemented a similar program in 2014. Tesco implemented this CSR program for a long time to gain a competitive advantage. The CSR program will also benefit Tesco's image as it matures. For example, they're a customer-friendly company, so wishes of its customers first. Our program may also benefit relationships that Tesco has with its stakeholders, who are likely to benefit from this CSR program. According to Mervis and Goggins, There is no single pathway, natural progression, and you can tell the level of maturity of complete actions in 7 areas of management. In terms of measuring the CSR program, they can also measure this. Look at the sales of sweets and chocolates. Some of their program is to reduce the amount of sweets and chocolates their customers are buying. One of the UK's biggest retailers, £1 in every 7 now spent in Tesco, have a big part to play in helping customers make healthy choices when purchasing products. Tesco may have also paved the way for companies in the big 4 supermarkets for the British population to eat more healthily. It is a long-term strategy. It will take time to see any results for customers who change their buying habits. Short term, Tesco might see change purchasing and buying based on pest to power from children on checkouts. According to Roche, systematic analysis, lasting or significant changes, positive or negative, intended or unintended, cause lives, out by an action or series of actions. I would recommend that Tesco looks carefully once they replace their sweets and chocolates with checkouts. Pieces that might have the same sugar content be just as unhealthy. The original offerings at the checkout. I would also recommend that Tesco extends its CSR policy down on healthy and confectionery products. Other areas of the store, particularly in areas where children are most likely to pest their parents for other unhealthy goods. Tesco must ensure the CSR program is implemented for the long term, and that by implementing the CSR program, Tesco does not damage its relationship to existing suppliers of confectionery. In conclusion, although Tesco should have implemented sweets and chocolates policy at checkouts for stores in 1944, it was right to implement this program. Their club card data indicated that 65% of custom confectionery goods removed from checkout, combined with the ever-increasing desire in society to eat healthily with a balanced diet, and prompted Tesco to implement the CSR program. They may also have felt a possible sugar tax being implemented. This Tesco stands for a slogan. Its customers in a small way of presentation of buying confectionery products at the checkouts and then relate away after.
This has been a presentation on the CSR programme in Tesco. Thank you for listening.